afternoon, my MPP peeps. Well, it was a nice green day today. I hope your P&Ls were that beautiful, gorgeous shamrock green. Ours definitely was. And will this rally continue? We'll have to wait and see. We have an interesting kind of crossroads here. If you look on the hourly chart, we have the top here, a few days ago, and we've come down here to the 3,700 level. We've held it so far, and we've ridden this little uptrend line on the hourly all the way up, and now we see a downtrend line forming here. We're right at the 0.50 retrace from this high to this low. That's good enough for a B wave. Okay, this could just be a B wave with a massive C wave coming, maybe down to this 3620 level, or this this is actually on the daily chart, this uptrend line I've been drawing. Might come on down here, this 3660, possibly dip below to this 3620. So what I did today is I put I shorted the SPY via the SPXU, which is the triple short vehicle for the SPY, which is you're pretty much short the S&P 500. And I did it right here at the 0.50 retrace, right at this 3782. And my stop is a close above this red downtrend line. So very minimal risk, but nice reward if we get a trip all the way down to this green line or 3620 on the S&P, on the SPX. And we're right at this green line here. We get a gap below and then a go tomorrow morning. It could be a very profitable SPXU trade. And if we get a gap above and start heading higher tomorrow, I'm going to close that trade, take the tiny loss, and continue to look for longs. But that was one trade that I saw. Great risk reward, and that's what this game's all about: is finding where those great risk reward entries are, and seeing if your thesis proves out. And if you're right, you make a lot of money. If you're wrong, you lose a little. That's how you outperform. Is every idea is designed to make a lot of money, and if you're wrong, you lose just a little bit. Okay, so that was the SPXU trade. All right, let's go to the daily. All right, so now we're in the daily. Let me actually draw these back on here. So we have this downtrend line forming. We're right at it. If we get back above it, close above this 10 SMA, which is at 3807, I think we could start a charge to 4,100 plus on the S&P. If we lose this 3720, I think we come to at least this uptrend line, which started back in the March lows. Okay, I think we come down and tag it, possibly dip below to this 3620. And then once again, we lose this 3620. I think we come to this 200 SMA, which is at 3354 right now and steadily rising. So this 3620, 3600 level is our line in the sand. If we start closing below that, it could be a swift 300 points down to this 200 SMA. So that's why I'm only going in 1/3 positions for right now. Any new longs, only 1/3 positions, in case we do get that swift pull, that swift rug pull down. But if we close above this 10 SMA and start moving higher, we stand to make some gains on our longs. So I'm trying to keep my mind open to both sides of the coin here. Let's go to the VIX. So I think this is going to be an important indicator all week. Close down 9.19%. That's great. Like I said, for this rally to continue, I'd like to see a close below this 200 SMA, this blue line at 2740. If we can get a weekly close below that, then I think next week could be a really nice week for the bulls. If this VIX starts spiking again, fear starts coming back in, selling starts coming back in, we could be in for a wild ride, and a wild ride to the downside. So right now, this is telling us that this fear right here is abated, but still elevated, but not quite as bad as last week. So let's see if we can get that close below 200 SMA, and I'll feel much better about starting to get longer this market. All right, some names. Nothing triggered today from the Ready to Rock list, which is fine. That's why we have our triggers, because if they don't trigger, then we stay out. We stay out of the trade until it proves itself. This CrowdStrike could not get above its first 10-minute candle, which was at 218.49. I had a buy stop in at 220. Couldn't get there, but I'm going to put that same buy stop on it tomorrow. So this one could trigger tomorrow. Another one that looked good, didn't quite trigger, but it looks good, is this MAXR above 44.50 tomorrow after the first 10 minutes. And I'm going to jump in this thing long with a stop on a close below this uptrend line. So nice risk reward, very little risk. And this reward could be great, up to 69. However, again, earnings are 224. So it may be a pretty short trade if we get long, but definitely watching this one tomorrow. Then we got PDD, had a nice day today. Couldn't get above its first 10-minute candle high. If it does tomorrow, if it gets above today's high and continues after its first 10 minutes, I'm going to jump in this thing long and go for 205. And then one we were watching had a nice day today, is this ARKG. Closed above the downtrend line, but could not quite close above the 10 SMA. I wanted to see it close below the 10 SMA to get long at close. Couldn't quite do it, but definitely watching it tomorrow. And then one more, saw a ton of call buying coming into this PLTR. It's come right back down here to test this breakout. This was not on this week's Ready to Rock list. It was on last week's, and we made a lot of money on PLTR in this move right here after it broke this downtrend line. So it could be setting up for a similar move. Draw this downtrend line right here. Okay. Holding the 10 SMA, came right down to touch it right at 32.69. If we can get back above this downtrend line, start heading higher, we could go to the next wave higher, which we draw a 1.618 retrace from top to bottom. That would give you 52. Okay. However, earnings are February 11th in only 10 days. So if this does trigger, it will likely be a short-term trade, a earnings run-up trade. Okay. We'd be playing for basically bullish bets for an earnings beat, and see if we can get a nice rally into the print, and we would sell hopefully right before that print with a profit. But really like how it's come back down, tested this breakout right at the 10 SMA, held it today, and a lot of call buying coming in. Now that call buying could be earnings related, might be hedgers, don't know, but it is nice to see this name setting up once again, because it did pay us so well the last time we got in. And let's just look at the Bitcoin real fast. Still struggling with this downtrend line, but man, when this thing breaks, I think it could explode. So, watching for this uptrend line, make sure it holds. If it does break, it could explode the other way, the way we don't want it. But this Bitcoin is a really nice look. If we can just get a little more momentum, I think it could explode to its next target of 50,000. Okay, that's my next target. That's 50,000 right here. All right, well, that's all I really have today. I wish some things triggered. Unfortunately, they did not, but tomorrow's a new day, and we have a lot of setups to watch and a lot of potential money to make. Anybody have any thoughts or want to go over anything besides CYDY, Dan? I don't want you to gloat about that CYDY anymore. Okay. Everybody good? Oh, Ford Ming? Yeah, Ford had a nice day. They signed some sort of partnership with Google, I believe. Yeah, I mean, this one, if you draw a trend line from here to here, you know, it's getting there. Couldn't quite get it back above this 10 SMA today after it dropped below last week. But 10 SMA is at 1093. If you can get back above that, and especially back above today's high of 1144, you could go for a 1.618 retrace, and the next, you know, the next stop's 1320. But you need to check earnings. Okay, I don't know when earnings are. That's the wild card. You really don't want to be long earnings because you never know what's going to happen. But at least in a shorter term play. But you know, depends on what kind of trader you are. But that's just me. I don't like being long going into earnings on short term plays. Anybody else? All right. Cool, guys. Well, I will see you in the morning. Until then, don't trade for thrills. Just consistently make those dollar bills. See you guys.